Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Marble World, the game where you can build your own marble tracks. And you may or may not recognize the track that you see right here today. That is because I am doing a collaboration with YouTuber Dragast, who is also doing a Marble World series on his channel, and he actually built this. And the way we're doing this collaboration is we're going to be building a massive marble run, but in segments. So he built this and it ends right over here. So now it is my job to build my own portion in this video off of that. And then he's going to be building his own portion in another video coming up. So yeah, if you want to see the original, how all of this started, then I'll leave a link down in the description below to Dragast's video. But let's go ahead and check out what's actually going on here. So if I spawn in marbles, you see they spawn in up here in the bookshelf. They climb up these ladders. Here, let's actually fast forward, if I remember how to fast forward. By the way, this game got an update, so, oh boy. You know, let's delete some marbles, because I think I started off a little bit too aggressive there on the marbles. But the game just got an update, like, today or yesterday, that adds some more controllability and easier functionality when it comes to building, which I'm going to be very happy with building in this episode. All right, so, let's follow some marbles through this course. All right, here we go. Let's slow them down now. So we created some kind of like plinko board style thing. It looks like they go down into these tubes. Oh, which then go into a funnel, which then funnel down onto these individual lanes that go into color-coded ramps that I guess all lead down into this section onto this course right here. I forgot that I can control my camera speed. And then we go down this spiral. It looks like Watermelon is out in first. Watermelon has a good reputation on my channel for having some good functionality, some good speed, some good reliability. And then it looks like there's a chance that the balls can fall through. Oh, multiple courses or multiple paths for them to fall through. And it looks like there's also a chance for them to fall onto bounce pads just like that. Look at that. And nothing. Oh, there we go. The red one successfully bounced up into the ladder. All right, now it's time to speed things up a little bit. It looks like we got a long climb up. So we go from this ladder. How's this trend? Oh, that transition's really smooth. Onto that ladder. And we gotta speed things up a little bit more. Am I at max speed yet? There we go. This is max speed. All right, on to the next ladder. That transition doesn't seem that transition's a little bit more awkward. Do they fall? Do some of them fall through there? I don't know. All right, well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut to when this red ball gets up to the top. Okay, and the red ball gets up to the top and goes down the track and then off and then onto a bounce pad and onto this table. And I actually looked at this video before doing this just to get an idea of what I was dealing with here. And I guess his kind of purpose was the goal is to land in here. But that is no longer going to be the goal because I'm going to be adding more to this track rather than having this dead end onto this bounce pad and then eventually into this donut, which nothing has succeeded in landing in just yet. Oh, there we go. Look, I told you, watermelon. Another watermelon. We got two watermelons. Okay, now yellows are actually getting there. Okay, wow, yellows are taking over apparently. Before we get to actually building, let me show you what's new in this latest update. One of the first things is they've actually added another curve because we only had one curve that would automatically snap to one direction. So now we can have two different curves, which is going to make building kind of nice. But another thing they've added is, let's say they haven't added a second one of this singular curve here. But what I can do is if I place that now, when I click on this, you can see I got some new controls here. One of these swaps the move tool from the rotate tool, just like that. And another one, which is really, really great and super useful compared to what we've been dealing with, is we have a toggle between world orientation and local orientation. So you can see that this is kind of angled with the track because it's local to this piece. And if I do this, now it's local to the world. So I can move it like this on a flat plane compared to the world, or I can move it like this on an angled plane, but like relative to the object itself, which is really, really useful for different alignments. The other thing I can do is I can actually alternate which point I want to be the anchor point for this piece. So that's super useful because right now it automatically anchored by this piece, but if I do this, now you can see it actually snaps it facing the other direction from the opposite side. So that's going to be super useful for building as well. I can also press R to rotate, which is really handy. And that's most of what I remember from the patch notes that at least I was excited about. There's a bunch of other stuff in there as well. Okay, so now when it comes to adding my portion to this track, first, let's go ahead and paint some of this stuff up here. He made it so colorful over here, and then it just gets like, now it's suddenly boring. Although, I gotta admit, these ladders are a pain to paint if you actually decide to paint them, because you can paint the edges, and that's great, but when it comes to the rest of it, it's literally panel by panel. Like, you could just create rainbow colors stuff if you wanted to, but that's really tedious, and I don't have the patience for that, so I'm just gonna undo. However, this stuff is much, much quicker to paint, so I'm just gonna go with the rainbow theme. All right, there we go. Now to build my portion. So I generally like to take a theme in my head when I'm building and just base it off of that theme. So I think for today's theme, I'm gonna be using a piece I've never used before, which is this. So this, oh, this is really interesting. I didn't notice that it has these like curves, which are really nice because that actually prevents the marbles. I hope it's gonna prevent the marbles from getting stuck in these corners. But my goal for this is to have marbles weaving in and out of figure eights, like cross sections and things like that. I'm gonna try to funnel the marbles that come down here into like 4 of these tracks. I'm gonna put a marble spawner right here because I need to be able to test this. There we go. So now I can spawn marbles up here whenever I need to without having to worry about them getting all the way through the course. But here's the issue. Our marbles go all the way to the one side, obviously, because that's how physics works when you put marbles around a turn. So I gotta make them distribute more evenly. All right, I think I've officially randomized the distribution of the marbles to go pretty much in whatever track, especially if they're in a big group like this. So I'm gonna spawn a whole bunch down here. They're going along the sides. They're gonna get disrupted by all of these different things, the pinwheels, the screws, and oh boy, I saw some marbles get stuck, which is not good. So let me do another test run here and make sure that doesn't actually become a thing. Okay. They do seem to still prefer the right side, and there seems to be a chance of blockage, which I do not like. All right, but nothing's actually gotten stuck yet. Like, everything gets dislodged, so that's a good sign, right? And they do seem to distribute pretty well between some of the different areas, although understandably they do still prefer the right track, which is obviously where the curve is leading them. But I think that is an acceptable remedy that is going to work for the purposes of what we're doing here. So now we have the fun parts where I am going to hope that this works right. Where, oh, that was interesting. I meant to do some of this. Okay. Oh boy, it does not like, oh, it does not like that. Paste like, oh, that is so much better. All right, so here is the beginnings of the plan. I hope this is gonna work as intended, but they're gonna end up splitting off in all kinds of different ways and hopefully be able to merge back together. And this is starting to look like a person or a logo or something fancy. I don't know, but let's see if we can get these things to start crisscrossing. All right, I've just realized an issue with my plan. In order for this 4-way splitter to work, things can't come in from opposite ends. Not only that, but look at the dimensions. It does not fit on the grid the way that I need it to fit. So this is gonna be a harder task to get these to meet up with a splitter than I thought. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build off of a splitter. So I'm gonna kind of reverse engineer and have a section that merges with the splitter just to see what this is even going to look like. And then I can try to fit this onto the course somehow. Okay, this was surprisingly difficult to do because I just had to go all off of the grid when it comes to the snapping features and everything like that. So I was overriding all of the game's natural snapping features. But as you can see, it's not the smoothest track. But I think I've got this in a way that it's going to be able to travel down here and they're going to crisscross multiple times. Crisscross, 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 and I don't know where it's going to be going from there. But that is only a portion of the track. We still have this portion over here, which I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'll just see what happens. Maybe it'll be something completely different than this. Okay, after some testing, I realized we have an issue. I didn't realize that this actually goes up through here. So I think we need to add some boost pads, because otherwise these things gonna get stuck. Okay, so here's where I'm at so far. We get through all the twisty stuff, and then we're gonna have the rainbow jump launching thing. And I have a crazy idea for how I want the final thing of my contribution to this course so far to be. And that is a giant funnel. Now, we do have these things, these little tiny funnels, and you know what? I want to make a better one. And I'm going to make it, I have an idea on how to do this, and this is actually going to be kind of cool, but I'm going to make it out of giant squares like this. And I'm hoping that this thing is going to be big enough that they're actually going to like swirl around a lot. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect with the physics of this, especially since I'm building it out of a bunch of individual pieces. But here's my process. I'm just going to angle this in just one tick. Angling in one tick, just like that. So what's gonna make this possible is actually how the new copy and paste feature works. Because now that it pastes it directly within the object, now I can rotate it here. And then I'm gonna move it out to the edge like that. And then I'm gonna move it 1, 2 over like that. And now I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Out to the edge and then move it over 1, 2. So now this is where the marbles are gonna fall in, and let me just do a quick check with a marble spawner. I just want to make sure. All right, marbles seem to fall in there pretty good without getting hung up. Okay, just wanted to make sure they could fit. I didn't know how big that actually was. All right, so now obviously this isn't gonna work as a funnel by itself, but here's my plan. I'm gonna highlight all of this, and now I'm gonna copy and paste. And if I press R, it'll rotate by 90 degrees, or by 45 degrees, just like that. So now I take the whole thing again, copy and paste, and I'll go 1, 2, 3, copy and paste, 1, 2, 3. And now I just take this whole thing, copy and paste. Oh my goodness. I hope this doesn't like end up lagging out the world. Gonna go by 1. Oh boy, and by 1. And you know what? I think, look at this. That is a lot more subtle of a funnel than I expected, but let's see what happens if some marbles get onto this thing. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to have it not be the center as well. I need to have it land on like the outside so it actually goes around in a circle, kinda. All right, let's slow down time and watch where they're landing here. Oh no, it is way, way too subtle. All right, you know, I just gotta do this again, but have it at a more extreme angle, that's all. Okay, here it goes. Oh no, it's kinda happening again. But oh, the ones that do stay in, that is so good. Are they gonna get jammed up though? That's like literally just a big, whoa! There's so much spin on them, but that's not good right there. I thought that they would kind of roll, but I guess it's kind of level, isn't it? I might need to add some borders along the outside of this then. Whoops. I think I copy and pasted too many times and crashed my game, and I don't know when I last saved. So there's an autosave though, so I think I might be safe. All right, here we go. Unfortunately, it turned out to not be the most round circle this time, but it still looks pretty cool from the outside. So let's spawn in a bunch of marbles and let's try to, man, there are so many pieces in here. Oh boy, it's already, I think I hope I didn't go overboard with this. I may have, you know what? Why don't I undo 1, 2, there we go. Maybe we don't need more than this, I don't think. Yeah, we don't need more than this. I just lowered the amount of objects this has by a lot. But we do have some edges. But as long as they come in from the right side and go around in this direction, that should be better. So here, let's align it that way. And let's see where they're gonna be landing. Okay, look at that. That's not too bad. Let's give it a bit of a better chance. Oh yeah, look at this. This is nice. So let's see what this course is like from start to finish, from Dre's section over to my section. And the way that I like to do this is first I like to do one marble so we can follow a particular marble through it without interference from anything else, just to see what it does. And then I'm just gonna spawn in hundreds of marbles and we're gonna see it en masse, just what happens in this course. All right, here we go. One marble has now been dropped into the course. And of course, it starts off with a waiting game. We gotta wait for it to get up the ladder, but fortunately, we can speed up time. All right, and here we go. Let's slow time down so we can actually follow this marble where it's go. I'm not gonna keep doing a slow motion voice when we're in slow motion here. All right, here we go. Marble comes down and it stays in the course. I was a little bit worried about if it could fit through there, but it's fine. All right, it's gonna go through a funnel, down a tiny little tube onto the purple track. So it has chosen the purple track out of all the different colored tracks to go on. And this one goes the farthest on the outside over here. Crashes into the refrigerator, actually. All right, and then it's gonna go down right onto the spiral. Let's speed things up a little bit as it comes down the spiral. Gotta get my bearings here. I'm forgetting where the rest of the course is for my camera. All right, how far is it gonna make it down here? Not very far. All right, what about this next section? Oh, it looks like it picked the edge. It might make it all the way down. Is it gonna hit any of the bounce pads? Nope. That means it's gonna be at the very, very bottom of this ladder, which is gonna take a very long time to get up. So let's speed up time all the way, and I'll see you guys at the top. All right, and here it goes, tipping the top of the ladder, and we are on to the final portion of Dre's portion of the track. And I actually modified the end of this track here to help the marbles out a little bit when they're in big masses. But which course is it going to choose when it comes down to this section here? It looks like it's going to choose the middle right course. Please don't get stuck. That'd be really embarrassing if a single marble gets stuck on this thing. All right, here we go. We're picking up some speed. So this is the one that doesn't involve any of the intersections. This just goes straight, and by straight, I mean curved around its own course. No figure eights with any potential to collide with any of the other ones. All right, let's speed up time a little bit here. Okay, and now we're getting onto the section where we get some speed boosts. I put a ton of speed boosts to guarantee that they're not going to get stuck here, but all of them are on a strength of 3, so it's a relatively low strength, so they don't go flying, but just enough that they're not ever going to get stuck on that ramp. All right, and let's move time up a little bit and see how it does here. That seemed to lose momentum very, very quickly, very suddenly, but hey, it worked. The marble made it all the way through without falling off the course, so now I think it's time to spawn in masses and masses of marbles on this course. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to see who's going to be the first one across, but I'm just going to be following them. Especially, I want to look at these sections here, these cross paths where they're going to actually end up colliding with each other likely. I really want to see what's going to happen there. All right, so we just have a whole store of marbles that's just going to sit there. And yeah, let's watch them come down the Plinko board. Look, I like how they come down in literal waves, like just wave after wave after wave. All right, and this section looks awesome. I really, really like this section right here, how they all go onto their own individual paths. And they're all coming down onto the spiral, which pretty much puts them all to the outside pretty easily. And then they come down onto this section, and we can see a bunch of them falling down to the bottom path, some of them falling down to the middle, and some of them making it all the way and onto the bounce pads for the top path. I guess that's the reward. If you manage to stay on the top path, is you have a chance to skip the line on the ladder, and some of them actually fall out a little bit here because of it. So you can either skip the line or just get completely ejected from the course. It's really high stakes on that top path there. And I don't think there's a whole lot more to commentate on at this point, unless I go and watch this other stuff, I suppose. Actually, this is a really nice view here, isn't it? I like this. This is really good. This is a cool section, especially with this angle. All right, well, let's check on the marble, make sure we don't miss our leader. We want this big moment reaching the top of the ladder. We're almost there with the rainbow marble in the lead. And then we're gonna have waves and waves and waves of marble. The rainbow marble has it lucky. He has the front line all by himself. And there he goes. I'm gonna keep it at whatever speed it has set automatically for the frame rate. And which path is he gonna choose? Oh, almost took the left path, but he also chooses the right path. But now we're starting to have waves. There we go. Waves coming down. So they should start separating into different paths and eventually crossing in these intersections here. So let's see what happens with our first intersection. Oh, we do. We have 2 marbles going down at almost the exact same time. Are they going to cross? Are we gonna have any collisions happening coming up right now, maybe? Oh, look at that. We did actually have a collision. I think two identical colors collided, so I couldn't even tell what actually happened there. Look at that. Oh! Okay, it actually got unstuck. I never saw a marble get stuck on this course yet in any of the parts that I built. So that was surprised me for a second, but it got dislodged. All right, here we go. Now let's take a look at this section. Oh, yes. This is how it's supposed to work. Look at them spiral around the center, and then they fall in. I don't think we should expect any jams here, but we'll find out what happens as more and more tumble in here. We still have 3,200 marbles on the map. How many? Look at that ladder. It is packed. So it should be a pretty constant flow on my part of the course now, thanks to this ladder just releasing wave after wave of constant marbles. So we should always have marbles pretty much at any part of the course I want to look at now. So I like these sections a lot. I like seeing if there's any collisions happening. All right, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have this block here. This was added for a very particular reason, because otherwise these things would kind of fall down and bounce off the course. So this kind of stops them, makes sure that everything gets down right here. And how is our funnel doing? This is doing great. I'm really happy with how this thing turned out. This is a really satisfying object. Oh, by the way, I'm really curious to check out the overhead view of this section, because this was designed to kind of look cool from above as they're all like crossing paths and stuff. And it seems to be looking pretty good. There's this white marble that got stuck. Oh, and it is unstuck. I really like that they're so easily unstuck once they get through there. But I spent a lot of time on, this is the portion that took the most time out of everything, to be honest. And it was mostly just due to the fact that I was not making it easy for the auto snapping system to know what I was trying to do. But I really like this. It would actually be cool if you could like highlight an object like this and save it as like a custom object that you can then just spawn in for future maps. Or like, you know, these ramp things, rather than having to build booster ramps, I could just have this as a custom saved object. That might be a really cool feature. I don't know how difficult that is to implement, but it seems a little bit more difficult. So yeah, there is part 2 of this massive marble run course, and I will pass the torch off to Dre to continue from where I left off with this funnel. Where are these gonna drop? I don't know. You'll have to go to Dre's channel to check it out. Like I said, I'll leave a link to the previous version of this down in the description, where he built the entire first part of the course if you want to see that in action. Maybe you can go and leave him some suggestions on what to do next. Well, if you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy some more content on my channel. Go ahead and check this out on the end screen right here. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.